If we take a closer look at the uniform of a Roman soldier, it gives us a much better understanding of the armor of God. For example, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 15 says, "And as shoes for your feet, having put on the readiness given by the gospel of peace." Now, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I had the suit of armor that was supposedly what's like being described here, but it totally wasn't. We got the same thing for my son, and it came with these. And it says the gospel of peace, but that's fun and it's fine. And, from a marketing standpoint, it makes a lot of sense because kids of all ages and sizes can strap these on. I mean, they're like glorified shin guards. But the problem is those are Greek. So these are called greaves. And the Roman legionnaire typically didn't wear these because of the scutum, the legionnaire shield. It was big enough to protect their legs without having to wear those. So during the first century, typically only cavalry and high-ranking officials would wear those. But slightly more likely, they would wear an acria, which was a shin guard that they would wear over their front leg just to protect it when fighting, or if they were advancing, pressing forward, they could put their knee in the back of the shield and push forward. But what Ephesians chapter 6:15 is talking about is the caliga. These were the legionnaire's shoes, and there are some pretty cool things about these that help us understand the meaning of the text. So if you imagine a legionnaire's daily responsibilities and issues that they're likely to encounter when things go bad, you might think crowd control, pushing through crowded streets, getting pushed back, protecting those behind you, and wanting to gain ground. Then if you think about those things, you're going to get a better idea of the importance of these shoes to the legionnaire, and with it, the importance of the gospel to the believer. So the verse describes it as readiness. The Greek word is hetoimasia, and this is the only time it's used in the original text. So common translations have either preparedness or readiness as the translation. And the idea is essentially being sure-footed. If you're going to encounter the enemy, you have to have a strong base. You need to be unmovable. Think of a lineman in American football. If he doesn't have a strong base and isn't sure-footed, he's going down in a hurry. He's going to get ran over. He's going to be losing ground to the opponent time and time again, and they're going to lose the game. But not if he's short-footed and has his cleats on. And that's exactly what the Caligae had. They had cleats. More precisely, they had hobnails. So Caligae had a hard sole, and the cobbler would drive nails through it and then break them off just at the right length. And you could actually adjust them as you went. And these jagged cleats were perfect for the stony and muddy streets and fields of the time. If someone was wearing the standard leather sandals of the day, they had no traction, and there's no chance at them pushing around someone that had caligae on their feet. And the legionnaires always had caligae on their feet. It was part of their standard uniform. And just like the gospel is part of the believer's standard uniform, a believer doesn't have to put it on or take it up. See, as part of the first three items of the armor of God, it's already been put on. It's only the final three items of the armor of God that are taken up when the moment calls for it. But we're to always be shod with the readiness given by the gospel of peace. Never to lose ground, because if we lose ground, peace loses ground. The gospel is the essence of peace, and that it is the good news of how someone can have peace with God, as Paul talks about in Romans chapter 5. And as we have peace with God, so we'll have peace among men as well. If you're afraid of having a conversation about the gospel with someone because you don't want to ruffle feathers or possibly upset someone, something I always remind myself of is it's hard to be nervous when your mind is on service. And shout out Southwestern selling books door to door, but it's true. The greatest way that you can serve someone in their lifetime is by sharing the gospel of peace with them. and how they can have peace with God. So never back down from the opportunity that God gives you to carry the gospel forward. Your feet are already on solid ground, and your shoes are not going to let you slip. God has made sure of it. So praise him for it and carry it forward.